Hey, and welcome into the Big Ten Huddle, where we talk every Big Ten team with honest, insightful, and entertaining analysis of Big Ten football and basketball. You're on the basketball channel, and here we challenge the national bias. We give you in-depth Big Ten coverage and never leave you hanging. If you like the Big Ten Huddle has to offer, please like and subscribe. It helps the channel so much, and I promise I will not fill your feed with useless videos and podcasts that you don't care about. If you are a podcast listener, consider giving us a 5-star rating. Also, write write in the section with the 5-star rating as well, like what you like best about the show. It really helps even more. We just hit 400 subscribers on our basketball YouTube channel, and I would love to reach 500 by the end of April. That's in a couple weeks, so let's make that happen. Would really, really appreciate it. Finally, as always, feel free to comment and let me know what you're thinking. If you have any ideas for what you want me to cover in a future show, I'm game for that too. I do have 3 shows a week for football and basketball, 3 shows each, so it's a lot, but I love the Big Ten. I love bringing you guys content, and I love being able to give you what you want. So, all right, enough of the pleasantries. Let's get down to business on the transfer portal, because I see the views. I know what you guys like, and I know you guys like the transfer portal. So let's get down to it. Let's dive into the latest the latest buzz in college basketball's transfer portal, focusing in on 8 players who are trending towards the Big Ten. Okay, actually 7, because both of the Indiana guys that I was going to mention decided to commit last night. So I'm not going to mention Conway, or I am going to mention Conway, but just give me a break here, okay? We got people committing all the time. Give me a break. We're just going to act like it didn't happen and say, there's still 8, okay? And we'll acknowledge it. But you get what I'm saying. Anyway, the portal is hot, and these athletes are drawing serious attention from some of the conference's top programs, and I'm not predicting any of these guys will go to these programs I mentioned, but there is a strong possibility for most of them, as there is growing interest for others and visits being scheduled for some. Let's break down each player with their stats and why they fit the potential squad they could be going to. First up, Tanner Toolson, a 6'5" guard from Utah Valley who's trending toward Iowa. Toolson's been a standout, earning second-team All-WAC honors last season. He started all 34 games for Utah Valley, team that won the WAC regular season title and made the NIT, averaging 13.3 points, 4 rebounds, and 1.6 assists per game. He shot 45.3% from the field, nearly 35% from 3, and 79.2% from the free throw line. His career high 28 points came in the WAC championship game against Grand Canyon. Toolson's shown steady improvement, boosting his three-point percentage year after year, 5% from his freshman to his sophomore year, and his effective field goal percentage jumped from 43% to 53%, and he's become a force around the rim, shooting 66.7% near the basket. Iowa's new head coach, Ben McCollum, is rebuilding this Hawkeyes roster, in Toolson's size, versatility, and improving offensive game make him a great fit and a desirable fit for this team. He's visiting Iowa City with Utah State, Gonzaga, and Xavier also in the mix, but the Hawkeyes are a top contender, I believe. Not ready to predict them to go there, but I believe they are a top contender. Next, we've also got another Iowa, as Alvaro Fulgueras, I apologize if I'm saying that wrong, another prospect trending toward Iowa. Fulgueras recently visited Villanova, but Iowa and Providence are emerging as the front runners. Iowa's made significant ground, impressing Fulgueras with how well he'd fit into their system at the 4 spot. The Hawkeyes see him as a perfect piece alongside talented players like Ben Sturtz. Fulgueras is drawn to Iowa's complete system and a chance to play with skilled teammates, something his camp values very highly. Providence is pitching him on being a central figure in their offense, giving their thinner roster at the 4 position, while Villanova's lack of roster clarity has raised some concerns. You also got Kevin Willard over there. Nobody likes him. He's terrible. So Iowa's competitive in the NIL game, and the family is growing fond of the Iowa program. That's one for a tight. This is one that's going to be a tight race, but Iowa's momentum is strong. Shifting over to Indiana. Remember I said they got those 2 commitments? Well, they got them from Josiah Miles and Taton Connerway. Taton Connerway, a 6'3" senior guard from Troy, who's a hot name. He was a hot name in the transfer portal. Ranked number 83 overall by On3 and 4th among combo guards. Connerway was the Sun Belt Player of the Year. He averaged 14.2 points, 4.6 rebounds, and 4.8 assists per game, showcasing his all-around game. Indiana recently hosted him for a visit, and On3's Joe Tipton had a prediction for the Hoosiers to land him. Vanderbilt and Mississippi State were in here also. They were in the picture here, but Indiana's aggressive recruiting, need for guard depth, I think is what gave them the lead here. Connerway could be a dynamic addition as a guard for them next year. Moving on, though, this is probably the biggest name we'll mention, to Ohio State, who is rumored to be going big fish hunting after RJ Lewis, who is ranked 4th nationally, 1st among combo guards by On3. He's generating a lot of buzz as there's talks that Lewis, who was leaning toward the NBA draft, he's still declared for that. He's still going to test the waters with that, but with the House settlement impacting NIL deals, he is also considering a return to college. The rumor is that Ohio State is pushing to get him on campus for a visit. While it's far from a done deal, the Buckeyes see Lewis as a game changer with elite scoring and playmaking ability. National media hasn't hyped this up too much yet, but it seems like Ohio State's quietly trying to make a move here. If they can secure a visit, watch out. This could be a massive opportunity for the Buckeyes. Over at USC, we have Tyler Harris, a 6'8" sophomore, small forward from Washington. He is trending to get a potential visit as well, ranked 99th nationally in the top 100 and 17th among small forwards. Harris averaged 11.8 points and 5 rebounds per game, shooting nearly 50% from 3 as 3 attempts per game. His recruitment's been under the radar, but USC, NC State, boy, they're a name that's going after everybody. SMU and Vanderbilt are also in the mix, with the latter 2 already hosting him. Harris's shooting and versatility make him a great fit for USC's up-tempo style, and a visit could seal the deal. Michigan State is in the hunt for Trey Fort, a 6-year, 6'4" shooting guard from Samford, ranked 391st nationally, but he averaged 14.6 points per game, shooting 38% from 3 and with over 6 attempts per game. He's an athletic finisher known for his explosive dunks, creating his own shot as well. Fort's late season surge was unreal, averaging 24 points over a 5-game stretch, including 37 points and an outburst against Wofford. Michigan State looking to replace production departing from players like Jace Richardson and Trey Holloman hosted Fort for a visit. It appears that Tom Izzo's staff really liked what they saw from Fort, his intangibles, everything else, when they saw him up close when they played Samford earlier this year, and they love his score, or last year, I guess, and they had to have loved his scoring, his effort that he was giving out there. Fort's experience across multiple levels of college basketball make him a plug-and-play option for the Spartans. Finally, we've got a trio of players with multiple Big Ten suitors, and these guys are very important as there are not many top bigs, centers, big forwards available in the portal. First one, Duke Brennan, a center ranked 133rd nationally, has Iowa, Ohio State, Indiana, USC, and Rutgers in pursuit, or at least in contact with him, and he does have a visit to Iowa scheduled for this weekend. Brennan's a rim-protecting big who'd add depth to any front court. Ezra Ozur, I believe that's how you pronounce it, I apologize if it's not, who is 79th nationally and the 17th power forward, is trending toward USC or Nebraska. The 6'8", 242-pound forward averaged 12.5 points and 5 rebounds at Utah with 51.8% field goal percentage shooting. His physicality and rim attacking style make him a fit for Nebraska's need for an interior toughness or USC's fast-paced system. Ozur visited Nebraska and USC, with Villanova up next. Lastly, Blake Harper, a 6'6" small forward from Howard, is trending toward USC, ranked 76th nationally. Harper has the MEAC Player of the Year as a freshman, averaging 19.5 points, 6.2 rebounds, and 3.4 assists per game. His visit to USC is generating excitement, and his scoring prowess could make him a star in the Big Ten. These 8 players, Toulson, Fulgaris, Connerway, Lewis, Harris, Trey Fort, multiple other guys, right? Brennan, Osser, Harper, would all be great additions to not only strengthen their teams, but strengthen the Big Ten as well. Each brings unique skill, scoring, playmaking, size, versatility, and their decisions will help shape the conference landscape for next season and add to the team so we can take down the dirty SEC, Big East, Big 12, all those other conferences that we can't stand, right? Drop your comments below in the YouTube, or if you have thoughts on the podcast side, feel free to send them to my email, jrsrankings@gmail.com, or find me on Twitter/X at the Big Ten Huddle. Take a quick commercial break and we'll get right back to talk about 2 huge additions for the Boilermakers and why next year could finally be their year to win that coveted national championship that Matt Painter has been working so hard for. Stay with us. We'll be right back. CBB Analytics isn't just another stat site, it's your ultimate destination for in-depth college basketball analysis used by fans and even the coaches. It has comprehensive stats for men's and women's basketball across Division 1 through 3, dating all the way back to 2018. From shooting percentage to game recap, CBB Analytics has it all. Try CBB Analytics for free or pay for a tier to take your basketball knowledge to the next level. Try CBB Analytics with your first month off by using code HUDDLE for $30 off. That's your first month free. Again, code HUDDLE. That is code HUDDLE, code HUDDLE. If you are a Boilermaker fan, you are going to love this segment as I am going to talk about Purdue's new additions to the Boilermakers basketball roster for the 2025 season. That's right, Matt Painter getting busy in the portal and internationally as well. I do have a concern though, so it won't be all a praise fest, but if you're someone who has been unsure about Purdue, you'll want to listen up as this roster is complete now, I do believe, and I'm going to tell you why it's one of the best in the country with one of the best coaches in the country as well. Purdue has made waves by securing 2 talented players, Liam Murphy, a transfer forward from North Florida, and Omer Meyer, one of those 2, I apologize, an international prospect from Israel. These additions are poised to elevate an already stacked Purdue team, which is shaping to be one of the best in college basketball next year. Let's break down who these players are and what they're bringing to the table and who they fit or how they fit into the Boilermakers plans and system. We're also going to take a look at the overall roster, give a grade based on the strength and one noted concern. First up, let's talk about Liam Murphy, the grad student transfer who's likely the final piece to Purdue's 2025 roster puzzle. Murphy, 6'7", 215, 220-pound forward, depends on where you look, from Staten Island, New York, brings a wealth of experience and versatility to West Lafayette. His journey to Purdue has been interesting. He started his college career at Columbia, where he played 36 games over a couple of seasons, averaged 9.9 points per game. Unfortunately, an injury sidelined him for an entire season, but he bounced back strong. The past season, Murphy transferred to North Florida, where he primarily came off the bench, but still made a significant impact, averaging 13 points per game and shooting an impressive 42.3% from beyond the arc. He's a stretch forward who excels at floor spacing, a critical piece for this Purdue team, as Heidi and others weren't giving them that enough, at least on a consistent level last year. His ability to knock down threes at a high clip and consistently will open up for the rest of Purdue's offense, particularly Braden Smith in the pick and roll action. Right, that's what you love to see, right? Purdue fans, Braden Smith in the pick and roll action. Give me some more of it. He's not just a one-dimensional shooter, though. Liam Murphy brings energy and hustle, which could translate to solid defense and rebounding in the front court. At 6'7", he's got good size for a forward. His 215, 220-pound frame suggests he can hold his own against physical opponents as well. While he may not be the flashiest athlete, his basketball IQ and effort make him a reliable contributor. I love guys who have high basketball IQ. Matt Painter continues to find him. He continues to go after him, and it's a great play by Painter in my mind. Overall, he's just a model Painter player. He's going to bring depth and shooting to the front court for Purdue. The Boilermakers already have a loaded front court with All-American candidate Trey Coffin-Wren, who's a force inside, and centers either Oscar Clough or Daniel Jacobson. We'll see who provides size and rim protection. Murphy's abilities to stretch the floor as a forward complements the groups perfectly, as he will allow TKR to dominate the paint while Murphy pulls opposing bigs away from the basket with his shooting. That's a nightmare for these defenses. If you're a defense and you're going up against Purdue next year, it's a nightmare. Additionally, Murphy's experience as a grad transfer means he's mature and ready to contribute right away, likely in a key reserve role. He'll join a senior class that includes Trey Kaufman-Wren, Braden Smith, Fletcher Lawyer, and Oscar Clough. A group that I saw on threeisgoldenblack.com is calling the best senior class in the country. Murphy's role will be to provide consistent scoring off the bench, stretch the defense, and bring that veteran presence to a team with a national championship aspiration. Now, let's go on over. Let's shift gears to Omer Mayer. I'm going to call him Mayer. I apologize if it's Meyer. One of those ones you just kind of forget to look up. I apologize. The 18-year-old Israeli guard who is generating a ton of buzz. Mayer is a 6'4", 215-pound point guard who's been turning heads on the international stage. He's coming to Purdue with freshman eligibility, meaning he'll have 4 years to develop. But don't let the age fool you. This kid is already battle tested. He's going to make an immediate impact on this Purdue team because he's already making an immediate impact overseas against much older competition. Mayer has been playing professionally with Maccabi Tel Aviv. I hope I pronounced that right. One of the top clubs in Europe, where he was one of the youngest players, or I believe he was the youngest player on the roster. He even logged a career-high 11 points and 3 assists against Bayern Munich in the EuroLeague, which is remarkable for his age. His recent performance at the Nike Hoop Summit in Portland further showcased his talent as he dished out 7 assists in just 19 minutes of play for the World Team, despite their overtime loss to Team USA. Good job, Team USA. You got the win. And I know Purdue fans, you love to hear about those assists, right? You love to hear about it because you're going to need a new point guard next year. And he is a high-level facilitator with a knack for running an offense. You're going to be calling him Braden Smith 2.0. While I don't necessarily like two dots of players, you guys are going to be doing it because you're just going to love the way this guy plays. Mayer thrives in ball screen situations, using his size and vision to create for teammates. At 6'4", he's got excellent size for a point guard, which allows him to see over defenses and finish through contact as well. His pull-up jumper is an absolute weapon, not just inside the arc, but outside the arc as well. And he's got legitimate three-point range, making him a dual threat as a scorer and a playmaker. Mayer's game is all about winning basketball. He's not chasing highlights. In fact, in an interview, I mentioned him earlier, goldenblack.com, he said, a lot of guys want to score the ball and make highlights. I want to run the team and make plays for my team. I'm just trying to play winning basketball. Music to Matt Painter's ears, right? That's the kind of stuff Matt Painter loves. That mentality is exactly what Matt Painter wants to hear. And it's easy to see why Matt Painter loves this kid so much. Mayer's international resume is impressive. At last summer's FIBA U18 European Championship, he averaged 18.3 points, 6.6 assists, and 5.1 assists per game, leading Israel to a fourth place finish and a spot in the FIBA U19 World Cup. He was also hearing from top-tier programs like Duke and Auburn, but Purdue's reputation in developing guards and Coach Matt Painter's track record sealed the deal in this situation. And how could you blame him, right? Go where Braden Smith is, best point guard in the nation go where he is. So this season, he'll likely play a supporting role in the backcourt, learning from All-American best point guard in the nation, Braden Smith, who's widely regarded as the best point guard, not just by me in college basketball, but by pretty much everybody, right? Listen to anybody if they don't. They probably don't know what they're talking about, but don't let the depth fool you. I was pounding the table at the end of the year for Braden to get some rest because he just looked worn down at the end of conference play and in the conference tournament. Mayer's going to be able to do that, and his size and versatility means he can also play alongside Smith as well. Long term, Mayer is seen as the next Braden Smith. By many of you, he will be. By me, he will be. He's going to be the next Braden Smith role. I don't think he's Braden Smith the player exactly, but he's going to play that role. Mayer's ability to facilitate, shoot, defend will make him a perfect fit for Painter's system, which values smart, unselfish play. His professional experience overseas means he's ready to compete from day one. So before we're done here, let's look at the Purdue roster really fast, kind of as a whole, maybe the starting lineup a little bit, with Murphy and Mayer joining Braden Smith, Fletcher Lawyer, Trey Kaufman, Oscar Clough, and Daniel Jacobson. The Boilermakers are loaded. This team is coming off back-to-back Sweet 16 appearances and a national championship game 2 years ago. The core of that roster is back. Not Zach Edey from the championship game, but still, Braden Smith, Fletcher Lawyer, TKR, and these new additions are going to help as Purdue is expected to be a preseason favorite for the Big Ten and top 3 team nationally. The senior class alone, I mentioned them earlier, Smith, Lawyer, TKR, Clough, now Murphy, is a powerhouse of talent and experience. Add in Mayer's potential and the depth provided with players like Jacobson, and this roster is all as well constructed as one of the best in the country. If we're grading this roster, I'm just giving it a flat out A, no question. It's an A, no question. The Boilermakers have everything you want. Elite guard play with Smith, Lawyer, a dominant front court led by Trey Kaufman, depth with Clough and Jacobson, and now Murphy, shooting and Mayer's playmaking. The balance of veterans, young talent is perfect. Coach Matt Painter's system maximizes their strengths. The only concern I have, and I did say I'd mention the concern, is if we're being picky here, is they don't have any elite athleticism. As noted, this roster might lack that one explosive, high-flying athlete who can take over a game with his sheer physicality, like what Michigan State had in Cohen Carr last year. Well, they'll have him again this year. That said, Purdue's system doesn't rely on raw athleticism. It's built on skill, execution, teamwork. If freshmen, including Mayer, can take a leap in their second year, or if the freshmen can take a leap in their second year, if Mayer can be the player that we're talking about him being, this team's ceiling could be even higher. Liam Murphy, Omer Mayer are fantastic additions to an already elite Purdue roster. Murphy brings veteran savviness, floor spacing, depth to the front court, while Mayer offers playmaking, size, and long-term potential in the backcourt. Together, they make a team that's already a national contender even stronger. This is a roster built to compete for a championship. The Boilermaker fans have every reason to be excited in 2025, right? So let's hear it. Let's hear it, Boilermaker fans. Let's hear it, Purdue fans. Am I hyping you up too much? How would you grade this roster? Do you have any concerns that maybe I didn't mention? Let me hear it in the comments. And of course, the haters too. Let me hear it in the comments. Let me hear about why this team isn't going to win the championship. I'd love to know. One more quick break to hear about home field, and then we'll be right back to talk about Dame Sarr, how he is trending away from Illinois, but what Illinois can do to pivot from here, and where Dame Sarr is eyeing to go next in the Big Ten. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Home Field is your go-to destination for premium collegiate apparel with a passion for comfort and a flair for vintage design. Home Field brings you gear that is comfortable and stylish. With over 150 colleges to choose from, Home Field digs deep into the archives, uncovering forgotten logos, iconic mascots, and legendary moments to create one-of-a-kind apparel. Use my code TBTH for 15% off for new customers, or use my link in the description. Back here on the Big Ten Huddle. Appreciate you sticking around for the final segment of the episode, whether you're on podcast, video. If you haven't yet, please do like, subscribe, give the podcast a 5-star rating. Really appreciate everyone who takes the time to do that stuff. I know it's so little time to do, but it's time that I really do. I honestly appreciate that you do that. Okay. last segment, let's look into the latest recruiting buzz surrounding Illinois basketball, specifically the news about international prospect Dame Sarr and how he is leaning toward Oregon or USC at this point. This is a tough blow for Illini fans, but don't worry, Illinois has a plan, and there are plenty of other talented players out there on their radar. We're going to break down why Sarr is such a hot commodity, what Oregon and USC are bringing to the table, and how Illinois is pivoting to other options like Ian Jackson, Jameer Watkins, Andre Stojakovic, and Adam Miller. Plus, we'll touch on how these players could fit into the Illini's roster next season and give a quick scouting report on Sarr himself. Lot to get to here. Got it all planned. Let's figure it out in this segment. Let's start with Dame Sarr, right? The chatter around this kid has been intense, and it only grew after the Nike Hoop Summit. And for good reason. According to 24/7's Derek Piper from the Illini Inquirer, Sarr is highly sought after. He is a highly sought after international prospect, and it seems like Oregon and USC are the front runners at this point to land him. From what's been reported, Oregon has come in hot with an NIL offer that is about $1 million more than anyone else is offering. I'm not going to give you the specific dollar amount on him as it's just a rumor, but just know it's a big amount. It tracks with who Oregon is as a program a little bit, but especially for a freshman, this is huge. This is the kind of money that turns heads in the NIL era. USC is also in the mix, and while we don't have exact figures on their offer, it's safe to assume they're throwing around some serious cash too. For Illinois, head coach Brad Underwood has been clear he's not keen on shelling out this kind of money for a freshman, no matter how talented. And honestly, it's a sensible approach. If you ask me, spending big on unproven talent is a gamble. It's not that I'm saying Dame Sarr isn't going to be great. I think he's going to be great, but still, it's a gamble, especially when you're trying to build a balanced, experienced roster. And as we saw this year in college basketball, experience is a huge thing, and you need it on the roster. We saw the one and done era. A win to win a title, like that era is over. Calipari is even getting away from it, and for good reason. Of course, this doesn't mean Oregon or USC, in my opinion, are making a bad decision or a bad move. They're offering so much NIL here, but just the thing is, I don't think it fits every program or it fits every roster. I think it actually does fit Oregon pretty well and fits their roster, but I don't think it's best for Illinois at this point to spend all of their finances on one freshman. So who is Dame Sarr, and why is he commanding this kind of attention? Sarr is a 6'6" guard with versatility, a skill set that makes him a perfect fit for today's positionless basketball. He's got a silky smooth jumper with range from across the three-point line. He's not afraid to attack the rim. He's a ball handler that's advanced for his age, allowing him to create his own shot or set up teammates as well. Defensively, he's got the length and the athleticism to guard multiple positions, which is huge in college basketball, where matchups can make or break a game. Think of, him as kind of a combo guard with a big wing potential, right? A guy who can score, facilitate, and lock down on D. Sounds worth it for all that money, right? His international experience means he's already played against high-level competition, so he's not coming in raw. That's why schools like Oregon and USC are willing to go all in on him. Now, let's talk about why I think Oregon is the favorite to land Sarr. First off, my guy Sonny Verma was telling me that's what he thinks about the situation, that he thinks Oregon seems to be the leader, and he's creating some of the best content out there over at Locked On Illini, so go check him out. In today's college basketball landscape, though, NIL money talks, and Oregon has been aggressive in using it to build its program. Their coaching staff, led by Dana Altman, has a track record of developing guards who can shine. Altman's system thrives on versatility, players like Sarr, who can score in bunches and create plays. Plus, Oregon's recent recruiting momentum gives them an edge. They've been landing high-profile guys, and Sarr would fit right into their vision of a fast-paced, guard-heavy lineup. USC, on the other hand, is no slouch either. Under Eric Musselman, the Trojans are rebuilding with a focus on athleticism, scoring, and Sarr would be a cornerstone piece for them. But my guess here is Oregon's the combination of cash and system fit that gives them the upper hand. Of course, time will tell, and recruiting is never a sure thing, whether it's in the portal, whether it's international. It's never a sure thing until the ink is dry in these situations. So where does Illinois go from here, right? We talked about Sarr and how he's probably going 2 different other places, maybe whatever's going to go on there, but losing out on Sarr stings. But Brad Underwood and his Illini staff aren't sitting idle. In a recent chat with 24/7's Jeremy Warner, he was tweeting about it. Underwood made it clear that the Illini want to get older this offseason. They're targeting experienced players who can step in and contribute right away, particularly a combo guard and a wing. This makes sense when you look at Illinois' roster needs. They want guys who have been through the grind of college basketball, who can handle the pressure of the Big Ten, and who can complement their core players. The 3 main guys that I would say they're looking at right now, and Sonny gave me these names as well, so I feel confident about them, are Ian Jackson, Jameer Watkins, and Andre Stojakovic. Plus, there is also Adam Miller, who's being thought of, and he's a familiar face for Illinois fans. But first, let's start with Ian Jackson. This kid is a dynamic combo guard who's been generating a lot of buzz. Already talked about how he would fit in the Illini system in a previous video, but Illinois is still in the mix here for Jackson, but if I had to guess, I think he's most likely headed elsewhere, and there's a rumor that he could commit as early as today. If he does, I'm thinking maybe St. John's, but we'll see. That's not an official prediction. Don't hold me to it. Jackson would be a big splash kind of player, commanding a lot of money and a starting role. He's a 6'4" guard with elite scoring ability, capable of dropping 20 points on any given night. His quickness and explosiveness make him a nightmare in transition. He's got a knack for getting to the free throw line as well. For Illinois, Jackson would be a perfect fit as a combo guard who can run the offense or play off the ball. But while I don't think Illinois' offer is the highest, I do think it's competitive, and I believe they can offer him the role that he wants in the offense. And as we saw, I mean, look, that could tip the scales, right? Like I said, I'm not predicting that he's going to go to Illinois, but we did see a role mean a lot to a player when Lamar Wilkerson chose Indiana over Kentucky. When everyone thought he was Kentucky bound, by the way, got that prediction right in my videos, so go check out the receipts. Anyway, I'm not going to brag on it for too long, but I do want to make sure you know I'm right. Anyway, next, there's Jameer Watkins, who Jeff Goodman reported that Illinois is in the final 3 for the 6'7" wing out of Florida State. Watkins is exactly the kind of big wing Underwood is targeting. He's a versatile forward who averaged 15.6 points and 6 rebounds per game last season. With the ability to guard multiple positions, his size and athleticism would add a new dimension to Illinois' lineup, especially on the defensive end. Watkins can also score from all 3 levels, driving to the basket, hitting the mid-range jumper, knocking down the threes at a decent clip as well. If Illinois lands him, he'd be a plug-and-play starter, in my opinion, who could take some of the scoring pressure off of the guards. Then you have Andre Stojakovic, a 6'7" wing from Stanford. Stojakovic, son of NBA legend Peja Stojakovic. Love playing with Peja Stojakovic in the old video games. He was a sharpshooter back then in the video games, just like he was in the NBA, but with a high basketball IQ. That was the problem. I didn't have the video game IQ, so that kind of wasn't the best situation. Anyway, he's not as polished as Watkins yet, but his upside is huge. Last season, he showed flashes of being a reliable scorer, averaging 7.8 points while shooting 40% from the field. His ability to stretch the floor would give Illinois another weapon, especially in the pick and pop situations. Stojakovic is more of a long-term investment, but he'd fit nicely as a wing who can grow into a bigger role. And like I said, that Brad is thinking of the future here. I just need you, Brad, I'm glad you're thinking about the future here. I just need you to retain these guys, Brad. Keep dudes like him around. If you get him, keep him around. Finally, last one to talk about, Adam Miller, a name Illini fans know well. Miller, who started his career at Illinois before transferring to LSU, then Arizona State, is reportedly in serious talks to return to Illinois. Derek Piper, who I mentioned earlier, says Illinois is encouraged by recent conversations with Miller's camp, and there's mutual interest. Miller is a 6'3" guard who fits the 3-and-D mold perfectly. Last season at Arizona State, he averaged 12 points and shot 35% from three, proving he can be a reliable scorer and defender. His experience in the Big Ten is also a big plus, and he'd have plenty of opportunity to shine in Illinois' backcourt. The catch is that Baylor is in on him quite a bit too, and it looks like they might be making a more compelling financial offer than Illinois is. Piper calls it a 50-50 raise, but if the money is as different as the rumor is saying that it is, I would say Baylor has the upper hand here. But Miller's desire to return home, play for a winning team, maybe it's a better role than what Baylor is offering. If they land Jackson or Miller, they've got a dynamic combo guard. I think that's going to serve them well, who can score and facilitate. Watkins or Stojakovic could slot in as the big wing, adding size and versatility and shooting. Illinois also keeping tabs on Will Riley, their freshman who's testing the NBA waters. I think if he gets projected to be outside of the top 20, I think Illinois has the NIL bag set aside for him and ready, so it wouldn't impact the pursuit of other guys. The goal is clear, though. Build a veteran-heavy roster that can compete in the Big Ten and make an NCAA tournament run. In the end, missing out on Dame Sarr isn't the end of the world for Illinois. Brad Underwood's focus on experience and fit is smart, and the Illini have plenty of options to bolster their roster, whether it's Ian Jackson's scoring punch, Jameer Watkins' all-around game, Andrei Stojakovic's shooting, or Adam Miller in his homecoming. Illinois is in a good spot to land talent that can make an immediate impact. Meanwhile, keep your eye on Oregon and USC in the Sarr sweepstakes. My money is on the Ducks, but anything can happen in recruiting. Let me know what you guys think about it. Hit me up in the comments, or if you're listening on the podcast, I have several of you in my DMs on Twitter. Love hearing from you guys, or send me an email at jrsrankings@gmail.com. I so appreciate you being here and enjoying the show with me. I love doing this, and I hope you enjoy the content as well. One more time, if you haven't done it yet, like, subscribe, and get the podcast a 5-star rating. Really appreciate everyone who takes the time to do that stuff. You have a good one, Big Ten fans. We'll see you next time, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday mornings, 9 a.m. over here on the Big Ten Huddle basketball channel. See you next time.